Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at footwork in the downswing and how we can improve footwork through moving well with pelvis and rib cage in that initial stage of the downswing. Thanks once again for joining me. So what spurred on this video is I've had a number of players come in for 3D sessions lately that have asked the specific question, how can they push from their trail foot into their lead foot better, maintaining the connection with their trail heel to the ground and not allowing it to lift too early. So some of these players, you'd see it lift very early into the downswing, this kind of a pattern here. I'll show you that from face on because we're going to focus on the pelvis and the rib cage movement in that initial stage of the downswing, because I see it in the movement in the 3D graphs, how this movement here would very much lead to the loss of connection there. So when the rib cage is shifting very much forward like this, and the relationship between the pelvis and the rib cage would be somewhat of an extended position through the spine, that's going to lead to the gap that we see between the heel and the ground there. Now, to maintain that connection with the ground and get the desired visual and feel these players were aspiring to achieve, you'd need the rib cage to stay, one, a little bit further back, and two, more down in that initial stage of the transition. So the very evident pattern with these players, I mentioned extension through the spine there in the start of the downswing, that was very consistent with them all. And the cue that I shared with the players to work towards would be, if they were to focus on the belt buckle and the sternum in the start of the downswing, those 2 points just getting a little bit closer to each other. So you can see there how that helps the rib cage stay down and back, as opposed to the players in the initial stage of downswing to try and get that traction with the ground, that interaction with the ground they were looking for. It would be more of a extended move. I'll show you that down the line so you can get more of a visual of the spine. It would be more of an extended movement through the spine, in which the pelvis would very much start to tilt more down, and then that would very much lead to this kind of a visual here. So again, what we'd want to do, the concept we're working towards is top of the backswing. Now we're going to allow the distance between the belt buckle and the sternum here to get a little closer in that initial stage of the downswing. So I'm going to pick up my club, show you what that would look like in swing. So I'm going to go to the top of my backswing and then just get that position there. You can see how that there, you can actually feel the increase of the pressure into the ground with the trail foot there. And it actually puts a lot more push into the ground through the inside of my trail heel there. So it sets me up really nicely then to push and maintain a better connection to the ground with that trail heel. Okay, let me have a look at how we would train this. I would start off with, simply as I've done there, getting the club in your hands, repping nice and slow. My rib cage, when I get halfway through downswing doing that, feels a lot lower to the ground. My sternum is pointed, say, 6 inches in front of my trail foot. So I'll show you that from face on, because that's a nice benchmark or visual to work towards. So from here, if I do that, my rib cage is pointed just in front of my trail foot and down. You can always use your club as a reference, just how I've done there. This is something that I also like to work on myself. So in doing so, I would often do the slow reps here, and then I'd hit some shots. I like to do 50% swings where I can really feel that initial transition. 50% allows me to have just a better sense of what's going on in that initial move in the downswing. However, you may want to go slower for yourself, because I find it's really important to get the feedback that you need. If you can't tell if you're doing it, you probably need to go slower, or you need to video it, or you need to find some element of feedback to make sure that you're making the improvement that you want. Okay, let me hit one at 50% here and see if I can give you a nice visual. Felt nice there. I actually feel feel that initial pressure into the ground when I work at a slower pace there. So that's where I would go. You're looking to keep better interaction with the trail foot into the ground, improve that push off. Maybe have a look at how the pelvis and rib cage are moving in that initial stage of the downswing.